Hello and welcome to the daily English news program on Azerbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Ilham. President Ilham Aliyev shared a post on the occasion of the 32nd anniversary of the January 20th tragedy. The post on official social media accounts of the head of state says, "May Allah rest in peace all our martyrs." Last year, our non-oil economy increased by 7.2%. As for industrial production, the growth in this sector exceeded 5%. The correct strategy, as well as the creation of large industrial zones in recent years, contributed to this. Currently, there are 7 industrial parks in the country. One of them is in Mingəçevir, the country's 4th largest industrial center.
Over the past 6 years, Mingəçevir Industrial Park has produced products worth 80 million manats. Out of this amount, products worth 67 million, about 84% were exported. The products are mainly sold to Turkey, Ukraine, Russia, Portugal, Poland, Pakistan and other countries. The monthly production capacity of the enterprise is 1,300 tons. It is planned to increase production by another 300 tons with the installation of additional equipment. The goal is to increase exports. To date, 159 million manat has been invested in Mingəçevir Industrial Park and about 500 permanent jobs have been created. In general, all industrial parks and neighborhoods in the country are considered effective areas of economic development. Our non-oil exports have increased by more than 40%. This allows us the opportunity to bring currency to our country, not only at the expense of oil and gas, but also at the expense of other products. We must take into account that the country's population is growing, which means that demand is growing and so is domestic consumption. This being the case, the fact that non-oil exports are increasing can be viewed as a great achievement. All these figures are not just last year's figures. These figures are based on our long-term economic strategy. Due to the high results of the creation of large industrial infrastructure, as well as the potential, the establishment of industrial parks in the liberated areas was considered expedient. The foundation of Ağdam and Araz Valley Economic Zone industrial parks was laid with the participation of President Ilham Aliyev. It should be noted that a favorable investment climate has been created in the industrial parks for the development of entrepreneurship. Thus, entrepreneurs are exempt from property and land as well as income or profit taxes for a period of 10 years from the date of admission to the residency of the industrial park. Imported machinery and technological equipment, as well as devices purchased for production purposes, are subject to VAT and customs duty concessions for a period of 7 years. Moreover, residents are provided with ready infrastructure at the expense of state funds, as well as lands are leased to entrepreneurs for a long term at a minimum price.
After the restoration of the territorial integrity of our country and the liberation of lands from the occupation, the implementation of measures to create border protection infrastructure continues in these regions. As part of this process, a new building of the command center of the separate border division Qapalı of the border troops of the State Border Service was commissioned.
In accordance with the instructions of the President, Supreme Commander-in-Chief Ilham Aliyev, the necessary infrastructure is being created in the liberated territories for the protection of borders. Consistent measures are being taken to improve the conditions of service and social security of military personnel. Over the past year, 19 new military units, more than 100 border combat points began their service and combat activities in the Cəbrayıl, Zəngilan, Qapalı and Laçın regions. The new building of the command center of the separate border division Qapalı is also another manifestation of the state's attention to the issues of border protection. There are working premises that provide the necessary conditions for high-level service by personnel, a conference room and an office on duty. The building is provided with constant water and electricity supply and heating system. The territory is landscaped. As part of the event, the participants of patriotic war who completed their military service with dignity and were enlisted in the reserve were awarded with medals for distinction during the liberation of Füzuli, Cəbrayıl, Zəngilan and Qapalı regions.
The U.S. Marshall Legacy Institute speeds up the mining in Azerbaijan with the involvement of 3 specially trained IMS-certified mine detection dogs. These dogs will assist with anonymous humanitarian demining efforts. We look forward to the peace and prosperity they will bring, the organization's Twitter page reports. According to the memorandum of the Azerbaijan Mine Action Agency with the Marshall Legacy Institute, 30 mine-detecting dogs will be handed over to ANAMA by 2023. 20 of them have already been sent to the agency. Of the specially trained dogs, 12 were funded by ANAMA and individual benefactors donated 18. It is expected to continue the existing cooperation and bring new dogs in the coming years. The statement of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of France is contrary to diplomatic traditions. If a representative of France or other states illegally visits the territories of Azerbaijan, recognized by the international community, Azerbaijan will take the necessary steps within the framework of the Constitution and relevant legislation. The head of the press service of the Foreign Ministry, Abdullaeva, said, commenting on the speech of the French Foreign Minister in the National Assembly of France. The statement of the President of Azerbaijan on the illegal visit of Valéry Pécresse to Azerbaijan is completely logical and correct. French Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs Jean-Yves Le Drian made a statement in the National Assembly in an appropriate form for a diplomat. Pécresse's candidacy for the President of France cannot give her privilege to be above the laws of Azerbaijan, and she should be perceived as a foreign citizen. If an Azerbaijani citizen violated French law and illegally entered the territory of France, adequate measures would be taken against them. Minister Le Drian's statement doesn't serve to normalize Azerbaijani-French relations, underscored Leyla Abdullaeva. Azerbaijan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a statement on the occasion of the 20th of January, National Mourning Day. During the event held in the ministry, 1 minute of silence was observed to commemorate our martyrs. It was noted that January 20th, along with being a mourning day, is also a chronicle of the heroism of our people. On that night, the Soviet army, blatantly violating the norms of the international law and the constitution of the former USSR and Azerbaijan SSR, carried out a massacre against a peaceful population in order to prevent the nationwide movement and destroy the will of the Azerbaijani people for its independence. The statement reads that the brave Azerbaijani army ensured the territorial integrity of our country as a result of a patriotic war in the 31st year after the restoration of its independence. The Republic of Azerbaijan is now a worthy, reliable and responsible member of the world community. We will continue to respond resolutely to any possible threats to the independence and integrity of our state, and all necessary steps will be taken to bring to justice those responsible for various crimes against the people and state of Azerbaijan. Ombudsman Sabina Aliyeva released a statement regarding the 32nd anniversary of the January 20th tragedy, 1990. The statement says that according to the international law, the event of January 20th should be referred to as a crime against humanity. Although there is sufficient legal grounds to punish the perpetrators of the January 20th tragedy, no legal assessment has been made so far. The world community and international organizations are called upon to bring the ones who committed the January 20th tragedy to trial and to cooperate on giving legal assessment for this bloody event. The statement was sent to international organizations, ombudsmen of different countries and national human rights institutions, embassies of Azerbaijan abroad and embassies of foreign countries in our country and Azerbaijani diaspora organizations. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.